Hello and welcome to Create Crochet with me, Rebecca. In today's video I'm going to show you how to do a Russian join, which is simply joining two different types of yarn or two different colours of yarn together in a way that removes the need to sew in any ends or weave in any ends, and it's really secure, pulling on that quite tightly, and it's joined. Anyway, let's get on and make. So to show that you can use any yarn to do this, I am using the same kinds of yarn that require the same crochet hook. I'm using Bernat Softy Baby, and I'm using Yarn Lanes Soft and Shiny. So I'm going to take my first yarn and really zoom in so you can see, and thread it on there, thread it on that bad boy there. Now I am using a metal yarn needle. I know that a lot of people frown upon metal ones, but for this you are going to need a needle with quite a sharp point to get through your yarn. Okay, it's also not the longest needle in the world, because you'll see why in a second. So I've threaded it on. Now when you do it, don't give yourself too much of a tail. Okay, I'll come out a little bit. You only want a short tail on your yarn, so that when you pull through it's not too much of a problem. Anyway, so this is your yarn. Don't untwist it, or don't do anything like untwist it or twist it so it's tighter. Just let it be its natural thing, and you're going to come along and you're going to thread your needle back through your yarn, and what you're trying to do is pinch your yarn and at the same time push your needle through. You're trying to catch it in and amongst the fibres and the twists, or the ply, whatever you call it. And you're going to go down about a needle length if you can. The more you can take up onto your sewing needle of this extended yarn here, the better your join is going to be and the stronger it's going to be. So I'm really trying to hide my needle in and amongst the fibres, and as I'm pinching the yarn I can feel the needle going down into the right place. It's worth having a bit of a play just to make sure that that gets done tightly. So I've got all of that gathering now, and it looks like a whole big mess onto my hook. This loop here, that's quite important. Don't pull your needle all the way through and lose this loop. You're going to want to try and hold on to this, because when we come to the next join, that's where your new yarn is going to go through. So I'm just going to simply put a finger through that loop and try and pull my needle through. Now it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. Sometimes it can get a bit jammed. Sometimes you just have to take it off your needle by pulling it down like that. Whatever works for you. If I had a big massive tail, you know at the start I said don't give yourself too much of a tail. If I had a big massive tail here, it wouldn't come all the way through gently and nicely. It doesn't want to do that right now, but so what you can do is just scrunch it up. I like it when things go a little bit wrong on my videos because it shows you how you can do it. So scrunch it up if it doesn't come off your needle gently, and then just give it a bit of a yank on the long end and it will kind of even itself out. So there is my loop right there in the middle, and that's the one where we join our new yarn. So bringing in my new yarn, I've got this gorgeous pink. Love this pink, it's so nice to crochet with. And again, this is Bernat Softy yarn, and it does exactly what it says on the label, and it's very touchably soft. So again, not giving myself too long of a tail, threading it onto the same needle, picking up my original yarn. I'm going to take my needle through that loop. Okay, so you can see it going through. Perfecto. Bring it through. You're going to repeat exactly the same process as what I just did on the blue. So you're going to come through and feed your needle through the fibres or the ply, whatever you call it, through that. Now I know you can't see through my fingers, but trust me, I am just gently feeding. I'm not forcing it, just gently feeding that needle through those twists, the ply, the fibres, whatever you want to call it. So that should be enough. So I'm going to pull that, and I don't need to keep hold of this loop now, so I can just pull it through. Might need a bit of a squish again, and pull it through, and I've taken my needle off. So that is what it should look like at this point, a whole heap of mess. Pulling on the long ends, not the short ends. Just going to give it a tug, and then I'm going to get the short ends and I'm going to give it another tug, and by tugging on it you're securing the two loops together. You're making those two loops really small, and if you run your fingers over it you can just feel a slight bump. That's all. So now what you're going to do is you're going to trim off these ends. Now what I like to do is, you see the V here, is I come down with my scissors to the bottom of the V and just give it a snip. If you do decide to join in this way, it will remove the need to sew in any ends. Yay! So just snipping off there. And that is how to do a Russian join. Now, a few tips. Have a play with it before you commit to doing it with work or crochet experiments. You may want to crochet a test piece and then do a Russian join, because I know that with my loops I need to almost do this one stitch in advance. So say I have to crochet 10, I'll crochet 8, do a join, then when I get to the 10th the join will be there, because try as I might I cannot get this really close to where I need my stitches to be. So have a play, have a work it out and an experiment. But that's been Rebecca from Create Crochet showing you how to do a Russian join. Enjoy, my friends. See you next time.